Imagine for a second that life is like an echo. What you send out, it returns. Not someday, not maybe, but always. Your inner world, your ideas, your beliefs, they're the script the universe performs. Joy, prosperity, meaning. These are not accidents. They're responses. They don't knock on your door by chance. They're drawn by the gravity of your mindset. This isn't fiction. It's a mechanism, a principle, and it's already in motion, whether you believe it or not. So let's start here. What if I told you that the single most powerful force in your life is not luck, not timing, not talent, but clarity? Sharp, unwavering clarity about what you want and who you choose to be, because until your dreams are clear, they're just noise in the background. The world can't deliver a masterpiece if you haven't painted the picture. Let's take that further. Success is never a coincidence. It's a direction. But you can't follow a direction without a compass. So pause. Strip away the surface. Ask yourself honestly, what do you really desire? Not some vague idea like, I want to feel good, or I wish things were better. No, that's not a goal. That's fog. Do you want to build something extraordinary? Do you want to earn a specific income, design a life of travel and freedom, or wake up every day knowing you're doing what sets your soul on fire? Then name it, claim it, write it, because undefined dreams never materialize. Clarity is the ignition. Without it, we drift, and drifting is the enemy of growth. Think about this. Would you ever get in your car, point it toward the horizon, and hope you somehow arrive somewhere amazing? Of course not. Yet that's exactly how most people approach life. They wish, they wander, and wonder why nothing changes. But you're not most people. You're here because you're ready to take control. You're here because something inside you knows. You were built for more. So, define what more means to you. That's the first breakthrough. Because once you articulate your purpose, your entire psychology starts shifting. Your brain kicks into gear. It scans the environment for solutions, patterns, doors you never noticed before. It's not magic. It's how your mind works. You begin to feel a pull. Connections appear. The right people show up. Tools, timing, insight, all of it starts to align. But only after you've made the decision to live with intention. And that, my friend, is the turning point. But let's get real. Knowing what you want isn't enough. Wishing won't get you there. Writing it down is the start, not the summit. What matters is movement, forward motion. Even if it's small, even if it's shaky, momentum favors the bold. You have to decide that the future you see in your mind is worth the energy it takes to create it. You have to declare that setbacks won't derail you, that fear won't freeze you, that doubt won't direct you. This is your moment of commitment. Every towering accomplishment starts with one step, but not just any step, a decisive one. You're not just choosing goals. You're choosing who you're becoming. That's the shift. Because when you lock onto your vision and follow it with consistent, aligned effort, you stop chasing success. You start becoming it. You're not here to settle. You're here to rise. You're here to live with precision, with passion, with power. And the first step is always the same. Know where you're going. Then go there like it's already yours. Here's a truth few speak about, but every achiever lives by. You don't attract what you simply want. You attract what you believe. Desire without belief is like stepping on the gas with the brakes fully engaged. You might move a little, but you'll burn out before you get anywhere. And here's the trap most people fall into. They think hard work alone will bridge the gap. That if they grind long enough, push hard enough, something will shift. But if your internal dialogue is quietly whispering, I'm not worthy, this isn't possible for me, or people like me don't succeed, then no strategy, no hustle, no tool will override that script. Because underneath every action you take, there's a belief driving it. If that belief says you'll fail, you'll unconsciously create the conditions to prove it right. That's not a flaw, it's a pattern. And patterns can be rewritten. So how do you start? You replace every limiting story with a new declaration. You say things you don't yet fully feel, but say them anyway. You say, "My success is already unfolding." You say, "I bring value wherever I go." You say, "I am designed to thrive." These aren't just affirmations. They're recalibrations. You're not lying to yourself. You're leading yourself, because your subconscious listens. And the more often it hears certainty, the more it builds confidence. The more confidence, the more action. The more action, the more evidence. And suddenly, what once felt impossible becomes undeniable. Think of those who have changed the world. Visionaries like Oprah Winfrey, Elon Musk, or Serena Williams. What do they all have in common? They believed before the world gave them permission. They trusted their inner vision long before the results showed up. And because they did, the results had to show up. That's the path you walk now. You stop asking for approval. You stop waiting for proof. You stop treating your dreams like a maybe. You lead with belief. Because when your mindset shifts, everything else follows. You start making different choices. You speak differently. You show up with a new kind of presence. And the world, it responds to that. People lean in when you speak. Doors open that once felt locked. Challenges that used to scare you begin to excite you. Why? Because your energy has changed. You're no longer doubting, you're deciding. Right now, this is your moment of realignment. Not someday. Not when everything is perfect. Now. Decide to show up like it's already done. Decide to think like someone who always finds a way. Decide that your past can't hold a candle to your future. Every day, choose thoughts that empower you. Replace hesitation with certainty. Replace the voice of fear with the voice of purpose. Say it now and mean it. I am moving toward a life of purpose, power, and prosperity. Because once you believe that, the world has no choice but to catch up. What separates those who wish from those who win? It's not always talent. It's not always background. It's often something deeper, something internal. They see it before it's real. They experience their dream lives in their minds until their bodies and behavior align with that reality. This isn't daydreaming. It's strategic rehearsal. Visualization is the tool of world-class performers. Whether it's Simone Biles flipping through space or a tech visionary sketching the next breakthrough, the process is the same. They mentally visit their destination before they ever arrive. Why does this work? Because the brain doesn't distinguish much between vivid imagination and actual experience. When you feel success in your mind, your subconscious gets to work building it in the real world. But here's the key, you can't just see it. You have to feel it. So each morning, close your eyes and step into the life you're designing. If you want to speak on global stages, picture the spotlight, the applause, the words flowing from your heart. If you dream of building your own business, see the deals, the momentum, the energy of your vision taking form. Smell the environment. Hear the sound of success. Let your emotions run ahead of your reality. Because when your emotional state shifts, your behavior follows. You stop holding back. You start operating with intention. And that's when the shift happens. But let's get one thing straight. Mental rehearsal alone won't do the job. Visualization is a spark. You still have to build the fire. Every scene you imagine must be followed by a move. That could mean reaching out to someone today. It could mean working on your craft after hours. It could mean finally saying yes to the opportunity you've been scared of. The size of the step doesn't matter. The direction does. Because each action, no matter how small, is a signal. It says, I'm serious. It says, I'm aligning. And the universe, it answers alignment with acceleration. When you act in harmony with your vision, momentum builds. People take notice. Serendipity shows up. Not because of luck, but because you're finally operating like the version of you that already has the life you want. Think about that. Every time you imagine your best future and back it with real effort, you're pulling that future into the now. So here's your new daily ritual. Visualize vividly. Act intentionally. Ask yourself, what would the best version of me do today? Then do it. Let your vision be the compass. Let your action be the engine. Together, they make the impossible inevitable. You're not waiting on a miracle. You're becoming the miracle. Let's talk about energy, not just the physical kind, but the frequency you radiate with your thoughts, your emotions, and your presence. Because here's the truth. You're always broadcasting something, and the signal you send determines what comes back. If your inner dialogue is tuned to frustration, lack, or doubt, don't be surprised when life reflects more of the same. Not because you're cursed, but because you're aligned with that frequency. But shift your focus, and everything starts to change. That's where gratitude comes in. Not as a trend, not as a nice idea, but as a power tool, a signal booster, a recalibration system that shifts your entire experience. When you appreciate what's already in your hands, you activate a mindset of abundance. And from that mindset, better decisions emerge. You see more clearly, you act more confidently, and most importantly, you attract more to be grateful for. This isn't fluff. It's neuroscience. Studies show that people who cultivate gratitude experience lower stress, better health, and greater success. Not because life becomes easier, but because they become stronger. So, what does this look like in practice? Simple. Each day, list 3 things that bring you joy, peace, or meaning. They don't have to be grand. Maybe it's the way sunlight hits your desk, a conversation that lit you up, a lesson hidden in yesterday's challenge. The point isn't perfection, it's perspective. Because when you start filtering your day through appreciation, your entire narrative shifts. You stop chasing what's missing and start celebrating what's already yours. And that shift, that's magnetic. Gratitude amplifies joy. It attracts support. It multiplies opportunity. But don't confuse this with denial. Being thankful doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It means recognizing your power, even when things feel uncertain. It means saying, yes, this moment is tough, but I'm still learning, still growing, still grateful. That mindset is unstoppable. And if you want to create extraordinary results, you need extraordinary emotional hygiene. You need to protect your peace. You need to curate your input. So audit your surroundings. Are you surrounding yourself with possibility or problems? Are your daily conversations lifting you up or pulling you into drama? Be intentional. Choose environments that match your ambition. Seek out people who challenge you to expand, not shrink. Consume content that builds, not breaks. Every thought, every interaction is a deposit or a withdrawal. Be the kind of person who invests in themselves relentlessly. Because success is less about what you do once, and more about what you habitually believe, feel, and focus on. So here's the formula. Gratitude sharpens your focus. Focus guides your energy. And energy, your energy, is the magnet that pulls your future toward you. Every morning, every evening, make it a ritual. Feel appreciation, not for what's perfect, but for what's present. Because the more you celebrate the now, the more empowered you become to build the next. Here's the part most people miss when they talk about success, manifestation, or goal setting. They wait. They wait for signs, for perfect timing, for motivation to strike like lightning. But greatness doesn't wait. It moves. You can't think your way into a new reality. You act your way there. The dream isn't built by hope alone. It's built by movement. Not chaotic, desperate action. Aligned action. Purpose-driven steps that feel like truth in motion. This is what we call inspired action. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right thing in the moment. It's about listening to that inner nudge, that creative spark, that idea that refuses to leave you alone. then honoring it by taking the first step. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a decision. Do you want to start your own project? Research one thing today. Reach out to one person. Sketch the outline. Record the voice note. Make the move, however small. Because action creates clarity. Clarity creates confidence. And confidence? That's when momentum kicks in. Think about people like Richard Branson or Ava DuVernay. They didn't wait to be experts. They didn't need permission. They followed the vision and learned along the way. They didn't just dream of impact. They did impact. And that's your invitation right now. Don't just visualize the life you want. Begin living parts of it today. Speak like the person who already owns the future you're building. Walk like the results are inevitable. Take steps that feel like they belong to your highest self. Every small move you make sends a signal, not just to the world, but to yourself. It says, I'm in. I'm ready. I'm not just imagining success. I'm participating in it. This is the rhythm of creation. You lead with clarity, fuel it with belief, and prove it with action. And here's what's incredible. Once you start moving, the world moves with you. The right resources appear. The right conversations unfold. The right opportunities find their way to your door. Not because you sat and hoped, but because you acted and trusted. And let's be clear, it won't always be smooth. There will be doubt. There will be delays. But doubt is just data. Delay is just redirection. Neither has the power to stop you, unless you stop yourself. So what can you do today to get 1 inch closer? Not next week. Not once everything's in place. Today. Maybe it's a message you've been avoiding. A commitment you've been postponing. A creative risk you keep shelving for later. Whatever it is, lean in. Because when you meet the universe halfway, it shows up in ways you can't yet imagine. Action is the proof of belief, and belief is the seed of everything you desire. So stop waiting for certainty. Start moving with conviction. You're not here to hope. You're here to build. Let's close with the most overlooked truth in any success story. You don't rise to your goals. You rise to the level of your standards. And your standards, they're shaped by your environment, your habits, and most of all, your self-belief. The world reflects what you tolerate. So if you tolerate doubt, inconsistency, or negativity, guess what? That becomes your ceiling. But when you raise your baseline, when you decide that anything less than growth, integrity, and alignment is unacceptable, everything around you adjusts. That's not ego. That's evolution. So ask yourself now, who are you surrounding yourself with? Do they challenge you to grow or pull you into comfort? Do they reflect the energy of your future or the fears of your past? Because proximity is power, and every voice you allow near your dream is either strengthening it or watering it down. This doesn't mean cutting everyone off. It means curating your circle. It means choosing mentors over critics, solutions over gossip, expansion over excuses. And just as important, what are you feeding your mind? Is your input filled with wisdom, ideas, and energy? Or is it draining you quietly, minute by minute, scroll by scroll? Your mental diet matters. If your goal is excellence, then your focus must match. That means being ruthless with your boundaries and generous with your vision. Because success doesn't happen in chaos. It happens in clarity. But even clarity isn't enough if you don't have resilience. You must build a spirit that doesn't shatter when things shake. Every hero's journey includes rejection, delay, and uncertainty. But the ones who make it aren't the most talented. They're the most relentless. They keep going when it's not easy. They speak life into themselves when no one else does. They trust the process, even when the outcome looks distant. They know faith isn't hoping things will work. It's knowing that they already are, even when you can't see it yet. So let that be your code. Be the one who doesn't just start strong, but finishes stronger. Be the one who doesn't just dream, but delivers. Be the one who turns vision into vibration, and vibration into victory. And above all, believe, not in a perfect path, but in your ability to walk whatever path you choose with purpose, power, and peace. Because right now, in this very moment, you have everything you need to begin. So what's the next step? Take it. Don't wait for a sign. Be the sign. You are the cause, the catalyst, the signal the universe has been waiting for. Now go build the life that's been waiting for you.